A lot to see, but before we can talk about everything that was new, we got to talk about your existing greenhouse that's here. This thing is awesome. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's a hardy botanic greenhouse. I had it installed about 2 years ago. This is your traditional English greenhouse. It was manufactured in the UK.
And it looks incredible. I like the brick on the bottom. The plants look great in front of it. We actually talked about making this all one water feature originally.
Stream running through and everything, yes.
And I'm glad that you had a good idea of breaking that up actually, because I was all for making it all one. But the reality of it came out somewhat similar, a lot different, but somewhat similar, where we were always going to have this walkway coming down here, and this was always going to be a main focal point.
Walkway pulls you down onto this patio area right outside of the greenhouse, where you can, whether it's marshmallows or just enjoying the ambiance of the fire, with the backdrop of the waterfall. I think that's perfectly positioned. Now, is that 300,000 BTUs?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it cranks.
It cranks pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, obviously in the past couple of weeks with the almost 100-degree temperatures, no one's going to light that thing up right now.
In a couple more months.
In a couple more months, we're going to be sitting out here for sure.
Yeah.
And my main concern is obviously when we put the swim pond in and everything's butted up, I wanted to make sure that I had a small patio area in front of the greenhouse and still have a sitting area with the fire pit and still have enough room to walk through here without being pinched in. And you guys did a fantastic job of giving me what I wanted here.
When you get a little closer, we were able to hide the vents so we could get airflow underneath of it and try to customize as much as we can to not look like something you could buy locally.
And actually they provided vents for you, which were stainless steel, and then when you guys actually notched out the stone, it came out fantastic.
We're standing close to where the yard was. We're often asked, hey, how are you gonna build up and create a waterfall coming back towards our house? And pretty much all of this was, we're close to grade. Grade might have been a little bit higher in some of these areas, but out there, grade was much lower. So that was all constructed and built up in order to bring everything back towards the house, which was a major part of the design. Yeah. You wait to see the view from the inside. It's pretty awesome.
I think seeing grade is something that most people struggle with, and the designs are certainly a big part of being able to.
There was a number of times when you guys were sticking your instrument on there to check the grade height and stuff, and I'm like, no, that looks higher than that. No, it's lower. And that, I think if I'm not mistaken, this area was about 24 inches lower than the patio up at the house there.
Yes.
And it's hard to visualize it. I mean, I see a taper, but 24 inches.
Yeah.
But it is.
Yeah, it is. So elevation worked out great. I love the fire pit. I really like, you got some different seating areas, but it creates that element all the way around. I'm sure when it gets dark, it's even better. Many times we use polymeric sand in our joints. This one here, a little bit different. You guys talked about it and came out with something.
It was a big no-no for me. My old house, I had a paver driveway, paver walkways and everything, and it was polysand. And I just know it from my experience. Every 2 or 3 years, you're power washing it, you're blowing all that stuff out, cleaning it up, and then you're redoing it again. And I wanted something that was maintenance-free, so I definitely relay to you guys that poly sand is out. We got to find something that is more permanent.
Yeah, the epoxy is great with that. It's either epoxy, which is what we did here, the mortar, soil, stone, mulch, green joints where we're planting. But as far as a more formal area, I don't think anything can compare to the epoxy.
I really appreciated you being open. There was something that was supposed to happen here, and in the end, it just didn't.
Yeah, it was my little kiddie area. We were supposed to have a kiddie area that went and butted up against the walkway over there with a spill bowl in the corner.
Yep.
It was 0 to maybe about 12 to 15 inches deep.
Yep.
They could have an area that they can play around in. And so as I was watching Zach on the excavator, and they're pulling the liner, they're putting the first stepping stone in, the second, the third, the fourth goes, and I'm like, guys, where's my kiddie area?
Yep.
turns off the excavator. Zach jumps off and goes, Erwin, if I give you what you want, I'm telling you, it's not going to look right. And, you know, I was kind of upset at first, and he said, I'm going to put soil in this area. We're going to build it out. We're going to probably stick some driftwood in here and stuff like that. It'll break it up from the koi pond, walkway, some planting area, then your steps. And he goes, just trust me. So I'm like, okay, this is a monster project. It's a lot of money, and customer's not getting what he wants.
Yep.
So when he was all done, I have to admit, he was 100% right. This is perfect. It breaks everything up, and I told him, you know, it's amazing to watch you guys do your thing and how there's nothing on a piece of paper. Spray a little bit of paint on the ground and these guys start going, and you just start placing boulders. And when this finished up the way it did, I turned to my wife, I said, he was absolutely right. It came out perfect. I cannot complain. It's, you know, it came out exactly the way it was meant to be in his vision.
Yeah.
And I accepted exactly the way he did it, so.
That's one of the hardest parts is, it's a lot to ask. I mean, like you said, this is a lot of money, and we basically want your trust. We're not going to tell you what it's going to look like. We'll paint it out as we go, and we're probably going to change your mind about 100 times too.
And I have a better eye for painting out because I'm a machinist by trade, and so, you know, getting a block of steel and making something out of it.
Yep.
But I have a drawing. But in this particular case, you know, I can understand what's going on. I can see this paint on the ground. My poor wife, you know, she just wanted to disappear for 2 months and just come back.
Yep.
But yes, it's perfect. So
How long did this project take us, the whole thing?
That includes the landscaping portion?
Yeah, we did the landscaping, we did lighting.
I would say, you know, the first week of May, these guys for 5 days were accepting boulders off the tractor trailers. So you lost that week. So the second week you started.
Yep.
And by the middle of July, you guys are pretty much done.
Yep.
You know, we were just waiting on the irrigation guys to do their thing, and then final mulching afterwards.
So about 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About 2 months.
I mean, it's a monster project.
8, 9
and
weeks.
these guys hustle through it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. Again, I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. These guys did a fantastic job.